Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Oh, there you are, there you are. We are actually live. This is not a replay. Is it live or is it Memorex? Kurt Nugent, you are back in the house. Let us know today if you can come online and talk to us this morning. How are you, sir? All right. So let me know if you can do that. We're going to listen, if everybody was on vacation last month, we took some time off. We have over 230 shows, 334. In fact, this is show number 235. Show number 235. So we had to take some time off to recharge the batteries. Okay. But if you follow us online, you know that we didn't miss a beat. We're live 3 times a week. There was a show on there. It was a replay, but it was a good replay. We gave you good information still 3 times a week. What do you guys think about that? I had somebody here this morning, Miss Carolyn Wilson. She said that today she was introduced to us, and she says that we're a blessing to all who receive this information. It's God's gift through you. All right. Thank you so much, Carolyn. I appreciate that. Jeremiah Sams checking in says, good morning. Nice to have you back, my brother. Good to see you here, Mr. Jeremiah Sams. He is watching us on YouTube right now. So if you're in here on Clubhouse, go ahead and tell us who you are and where you're from. Steve Max says Grand Rising here in Clubhouse this morning. And tell us where you're from, everybody. So let's see. We got people here online. Put it in the chat, put it in the comment section where you're from. All right. So we can say a proper good morning to you. All right. Kurt Nugent is back as producer. He has been gone for a while and had exploits all around the world. I was starting to say all around the country. Man, he wasn't even in the country. He was all over the place. All right. So we've got Rodney. Rodney, good morning to you from Indianapolis and Indiana, and he's watching us on YouTube this morning. All right, and let me see here. Kurt says, all right, Kurt's going to jump in. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to jump in with us in just a few minutes. So listen, I want to finish saying good morning to everyone. So go ahead and put it in the chat. Good morning, where you're from. And let me see here. I'm going to say good morning to you all here in Clubhouse. Good morning. Put a little sunshine in that. All right, there you are. And we're going to put our link at the top of the page. Listen, this is a powerful tool that I'm putting at the top of the page, ladies and gentlemen. It is our new video digital business card. It is powerful. I mean, people just love this thing. So we're going to put that at the top of the page. It's ice10k.com. If you want to know anything about what we do, keep this ice10k.com. All right. And we're going to add that link so you guys can click on that. There's a lot going on there. You can, with that, you can get information about our book. Our whole business card, it has a link to that. So you have our phone numbers, you have our email address, you have our website, you have all of our social media links. We have videos as soon as you click on the card. And not only that, folks, you can watch replays of how to pay off mortgages in 7 years right from the video card. Oh my goodness, right on your phone. You just click on the link. All right, just tap on that link, go to the link. All right. And when you go to ice10k.com, you can scroll down. So the first thing you see is Dr. Eric Thomas. He says, because we no longer had a mortgage. Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. But you can scroll down to the button that says Ice 10K Live, or all the way down to the lower left-hand corner and click on all episodes. When you do that, all episodes come up. I mean, right at 229 episodes are right there. 229 episodes are there, ladies and gentlemen, so that you can watch this anytime you want, right from your phone. But today is a special day. Today, we're going to be talking about 40-year mortgages. Do you know? I put it in the chat. Terry Lewis says, "Good day." Good day to you, Miss Terry Lewis. Where are you? Where are you from, Miss Terry? Tell us where you're from. I'd like to greet you properly. So let me say this. Do you know anyone with a 40-year mortgage? It could be you. It could be somebody else. But do you know anyone with a 40-year mortgage? Put a Y in the chat. Put a Y in the comment section if you're following us online. Put a Y if you know anyone with a 40-year mortgage. All right. 40-year mortgages. When you get, sometimes people, I'm meeting with some folks in the not too distant future. All right. Miss Terry is from Miami. Oh my gosh. I like Miami, Florida. Okay. So meeting with someone in the not too distant future who has a 40-year mortgage. But guess what? They didn't know they had a 40-year mortgage. They went through a rough patch. All right. Rodney says he knows somebody with a 40-year mortgage. All right. We'll put that on there. Says, please puts a big Y in there. Says, yeah, he knows. Okay. So listen, folks, when you have that, when you get you may have a rough patch. Okay. And financially, and you go to the bank and you can't make that mortgage payment. It gets behind. Well, there's a safety net. And that safety net is you can go in and restructure your mortgage. You can get it restructured. You can get it modified. Maybe you can get the interest rate lowered a little bit, and maybe to bring down that payment so that it's a couple of $100. That's all you need. I just need a couple $100 breathing room. You need to get caught up. All right. And you need a couple $100 breathing room. They can give you a 40-year mortgage. And most people that I talk to that had their loan modified didn't even know they had a 40-year mortgage. They didn't even know it was a 40-year mortgage. It wasn't clear to them. Because here's the thing. This is what I was told just the other day. You're just so desperate to hang on to your home that you'll grasp at straws and sign anything that will keep you in your home and lower that payment. You don't quite understand everything that's involved. All I know is my interest rate is a little bit lower. My payment is a little bit lower. And I was 2 months behind, getting almost 3 months behind. And they told me that the payments that I miss, they're going to put on the back end so that it won't look like I'm late anymore. All right. They're going to instantly catch me up and I'm going to be good. So what they do is this. They give you a trial payment. All right. They work everything out. Here's your new payment. And you're so happy. I got my new payment. I'm no longer behind. They're going to catch you up. And they'll give you a trial on a trial basis, 3 months. You have to make those 3 payments on time. And then if you make those 3 payments on time, you're locked in. You're locked into that new mortgage. You're locked into that new payment that is a few $100s less. That you're locked in because now your or whatever was going on in your life has now passed, and you're ready to get back on. But you find out it's actually a 40-year mortgage. If you are online right now, I've got people here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Will you share that with? Will you share this with? Will you share this broadcast out on your social media? Will you do that? Share it out right now. Share it right now so that people can get in here and know. If they have a 40-year mortgage, they could do something about it. Mr. Rodney Dido says, It's a death pledge. It's a death pledge mortgage. But today, folks, we're going to show you how to make that 40-year mortgage work for you. What? Yeah. A 40-year mortgage can actually work for you. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this first. Let's do this. We haven't been here. We haven't been here in a while. And what we want to do is, Kurt, can we put the book? Can we put the book up? So we're going to go out of turn just a little bit because listen, I haven't talked with Kurt in a while. I want to get him in here. And so listen, folks, here's our book. Here's the book. All right. It is The P.I.L.L Method, a better way to eliminate debt. And some of the things that we're going to be talking about today are based in this book on how to read an amortization schedule, on how you don't have to pay all of that interest. And you can go to ice10k.com to get the book. All right. ice10k.com to get the book. And you want to pay special attention to the numbers we're going to be placing on the screen. All right. 30-year mortgage, 40-year mortgage. There is actually a benefit to a 40-year mortgage. There's actually a benefit to having a 40-year mortgage. So let me ask you something. If there was a benefit to a 40-year mortgage, would you want to know where it is, how you can benefit, how a 40-year mortgage can actually help you? If you want to see that today, put a number 9 in the chat, put a number 9 in the comment, put a number 9 in the comment or the chat. If you want to see, ladies and gentlemen, how a 40-year mortgage that you got to just to be able to stay in your house has turned now into a benefit for you. I'm going to show you the numbers. So I need you to invite some people in here, whether you're in Clubhouse or online. Share this out to your social media. Rodney says 9. He says, oh, I want to see that. Anika says 9. All right. So she says, I want to be able to see that. I want to, Steve Mack says 9. I want to see that. So we have some people who are generating some interest in this whole thing. About Terry Lewis says, no. She didn't just say 9. She said 999. She said 999, like it was an emergency. I want to know. Jeremiah Sam says 9. Letitia Knox says 9 right now. So people, listen, put the number 9 in the chat so that you can see how a 40-year mortgage, which looks like a death sentence, can be a benefit to you now that you have it. All right. The banks thought they had you. The banks thought they had you on the hook for another 40 years. You pay that mortgage down. Okay. Because see, here's what's happening with some people, folks. They're in their home for about 10 years, maybe 12, maybe 15 years. They get behind. But there's something that's emotional about losing your home. There's something emotional about it. And so you start doing whatever you can. You start doing research. You start calling your bank, and the bank says, yes, you can get a modification. You can get your loan modified. But what about the payments that we're behind? Okay. We will take those payments that you're behind. We will add them to the back of the mortgage. So you'll have the same number of payments that are left. All right. And we might be able to give you a 0.5% lower on your mortgage interest. All right. And we're going to help you to lower that payment. But what isn't totally clear is that you may have been in your mortgage for 5, 10, 15 years. But now you have a 40-year mortgage and you didn't even realize it to save your home. People will do most anything to save their home. And some people will take advantage of that emotional attachment that you have to your home and give you a 40-year mortgage. And I'm going to show you how they're not as smart as they think they are, because we're going to give you the cheat code today. All right. So I'm waiting for a few more people to show up. I'm waiting for some more people to come. Go ahead, continue to share it out, get some people in here, tell your family, tell your friends, because see, they may not have a 40-year mortgage, but they may know someone who does. So share it out. Let's get started. All right. So, Kurt, we're going to go ahead and start this show. We're going to put the amortization calculator on the screen. And whenever you can jump in, Kurt, I'm going to stop right then and there. We're going to chat a little bit today about how amazing this information is and about how amazing things have been going for you in particular. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a mortgage here of $300,000 at 6%. $300,000 at 6%. The payment is $1,896.20. All right? $1,896.20. All right? All right. Good. All right. Okay, Kurt, I see you, man. I see you. All right, but listen, go ahead. Get that thing fixed, man. Get it fixed. Let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so $1,800, and then we get behind. We got behind on this mortgage. And listen, already, let me show you what happens on this mortgage here. Let's just say that you are, you know what? Here's what's happening, okay? You're at 6.5%, and you got behind on your mortgage. And let's say you're 5 years in. 5 years in. You've already paid it down by $19,000, but it costs $94,000 in interest already. You're 5 years in, but now you get behind. You just got behind on your mortgage and you want to do something about it. So the bank comes along and says, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a brand new mortgage. We're going to take that, what you have now. Okay. So you have, you're down to $280,000, 5 years in, $280,000. So we're going to take that and put it into a new mortgage, $280,000. Okay. All right, we're going to paste that in there. We're going to take out, we're using Brett Whistle, by the way, if you want to know what we're doing here. This is online amortization calculator, brettwhistle.net. All right, we're going to give you a 6% mortgage, but 480 payments. Okay, and now your payment now is $1,500, $1,545.18 versus what it used to be. All right, at $1,896.20. Look at that. All right, over $300 a month savings. And it feels like a lot of breathing room. The pressure has gone up. I can breathe again. I now have a payment of $1,545.18. But instead of $1,896, but guess what? Over here, I have paid it down by 5 years. Okay, so I had my 30-year mortgage. I had 25 years left. But to get this new payment, they gave me a brand new 40-year mortgage on top of what I already had. So by the time that I'm done, Steve wants to come up, invite to speak, okay? By the time that I'm done, they want me to be in this mortgage for a total of 45 years. A total of 45 years. You see, I was in my old mortgage for 5 years, and now they gave me a 40-year mortgage that I didn't even realize. Continue to invite some people in here. I want to show you how to read this thing so you can benefit from this 40-year mortgage. Steve, how are you this morning? Steve, can you talk to us?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing fine, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Got my
So,
workout in and listening to what you guys say about this 40-year mortgage.
all right, let's talk about this 40-year mortgage, man. Let's talk about it. So, let me show you what's going on with the 40-year mortgage and why it is so powerful. I need you to notice something here, okay? I needed you to notice, okay? We're getting in here. Look what happens. Look what happens when I get a 40-year mortgage. I was in this mortgage for 5 years. Take a look at the old 30-year mortgage. Look at the principal payment. $373. Look at the interest payment. 1523.20. 1523.20 is the interest cost each month. All right. Rodney says, kind of like a recast in a negative way. All right. Okay. But we're going to show you where it's positive, Rodney. We're going to show you where it's positive. I need you to take a look at the principal payment. When you control, I write this down. Anybody who is taking notes today, write it down. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. Control the principal payment and you control the loan. All right. So let me show you. We were at $373 going to principal, but on our brand new 40-year mortgage, here is the very first payment. Look at this. $141 and a penny now goes to principal and $1,400 goes to interest. Don, how is that better? How is it better to have $141 going to principal, and $1,400 going to interest? Listen, it was bad enough. It was bad enough. It was bad enough. All right. To have $373 going to principal and $1,500 going to interest. All right. And now we only have $141 going. And listen, we got a producer in here. We got a producer in here now. Kurt Nugent, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just enjoying what you got going on, Doc.
Listen, man. Listen, you got that new mic set up over there.
Uh-oh.
Hey, listen, man. Let's get a good look at you. Let's take the let's take the thing off the screen, man. Let's get the thing off. There you go. There you go. So Kurt's our producer, and he's been out of the country. We thought we were going to take June off. Yep. Kurt, listen? Are you recharged?
Are your batteries charged up? I'm recharged.
Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, listen, we my family and I, we moved to Huntsville. Don and I have the privilege of living in the beautiful city of Huntsville, Alabama. That's the star, as they say, of the state. And yeah, we moved to Huntsville from South Africa. We were missionaries there for 4.5 years, and we had not been back. We had intended to go back right around the 4 or 5 year mark, and that was right around the pandemic. So we ended up adding on another 2-3 years to that. And so we just got a chance to go back this past June, and it was amazing. Being able to take the kids around to the different places that they used to go to, places that they went to school, where they learned how to ride bikes, stuff like that. It was just awesome. And again, just as you said, it was a refilling for us as well, man. 13 of you guys on the live today, several more on Clubhouse. I just want to say a word of welcome to all of you. Always a pleasure to come and hang out with the P.I.L.L Method crew. Don is delivering value, immense value to all of us today. And one of the things I love about what Don does is he makes no apologies for what he is sharing, for the value that he's providing. If you have not plugged in with what he is sharing and what he's teaching us today, if you're new to this space, make sure you have your pen and paper ready. Make sure you take advantage of those replays that he talked about earlier as well, because it's not one time. You need to hear this multiple times. I produced the show. How many episodes did we say? 200 and something. I produced this show, and I still learn every single time I'm here. So it's not a one-time deal. Like, let me just listen to this once and I'm going to get it. We've had a steady diet of misinformation for the past, I don't know how many years, right?
Yeah.
Probably the better
Yes.
part of our lives.
Yes.
And so I just love the tenacity. I love the dedication. I love the zeal with which Don just attacks this thing. He wants all of us to be set free from a mindset that is holding us in bondage. Quite literally, y'all. I mean, it's not, as they say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. It's not physical chains anymore.
Yes.
It's mental.
There you go.
And those of you who are in this room, those of you who have shared this room, who have shared this live, you are doing your family, you're doing your friend group, you're doing your sphere of influence a service, because we just don't even know how bad it is until we start to really peel back some of those onion layers and see what we've learned over the course of a lifetime, especially as it relates to finances. I'm also a client. I'm not only producer of the show. I wanted to get that in there as well. Don always wants me to talk about me, but I just feel like you guys came to hear Don. You guys came to hear about the P.I.L.L method. So I always bring it right back. You know, it's what I do, Don.
Listen, man, I appreciate it. So let's do that. Let's do just that.
Absolutely.
All right, Kurt, I just wanted to listen. We haven't seen you in a while. We've been off for a month.
That's right.
People want to say, listen, tired of me pushing the wrong button at the wrong time.
No, we're in here now, man.
All right. So let's get back into it. Let's put it back up on the screen.
Yep,
I got a 40-year mortgage on the screen right now. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, here's what you need to know. If you have a 40-year mortgage, okay, if you have a 40-year mortgage and things are starting to go better for you now, they're going better for you now. Look at this principal payment. So you're making your very first payment here. You've got to make the first 3 payments on this mortgage to lock it in. You got to make the first 3 payments. So $141 goes to principal, $1,400 goes to $1,404.17 goes to interest. Then $141.72. Look at that. Only 71 cents difference goes to principal. 71 cents. That's it. And then $1,403.46 goes to interest. 71 cents difference again. All right. All right. And now you make that third payment. Boom. $142.43 goes to principal. $1,402.75 goes to interest. That's a lot of money. Now it's locked in, right? You now saying, listen, I got my mortgage back. I got my life back. We saved our house. All right. But now you saw the P.I.L.L method. Somebody introduced you to the P.I.L.L method. You were looking for a better way to make sure that you can get rid of this mortgage now. All right. Something has inspired you to go looking for better information about how to handle your debts and how to handle your finances. And then you come across this information and now you want to know how you could pay a loan off in 7 years. And then once you give us your information, we now tell you you have a 40-year mortgage. And some of you didn't even realize it until you talk with us. Yeah, it's a 40-year mortgage. That's what your numbers turned out to be. So now we're going to show you something that's amazing. Do you see on payment number 4, $143.14 goes to principal. All right. You just made payment number 3. Now, here's my question. If next month $143.14 goes to principal, here's my question. Do you have to wait till next month to give the bank $143.14? Do you have to wait till next month to give them that money? All right. I need to see it in the chat. You just made the payment. All right. And I see that my next principal payment is going to be $143.14 at the first of the month. Do I have to wait to give them that $143.14? Steve Mack says, no, I don't have to wait. Because listen, folks, we're getting ready to talk about what a prepayment is. And here's what a prepayment is. Giving the bank money anytime before it's due. Giving the bank money anytime before it's due. And it could be any amount. It could be the whole rest of the mortgage. It could be any part of the mortgage that's left to pay. So let's just say we focus in on this $143.14. If we give that to the bank early, before the first of the next month, and we tell the bank we want that applied to our principal, Do you realize we're paid down to line 4 already on our amortization schedule? And then the bank uses the principal balance from line 4 to tell us how much principal and interest we pay on line 5. I don't know if you got that. We had just made payment number 3. We gave the bank $143.14 early, and it skips us down to payment number 5, just like that. For $143.86, we got rid of one whole line on our mortgage schedule for only $143.14. Line number 4 is gone. Now, what happened to the $1,402.04 in interest on line 4? What happened to that? What happened to that? If we're skipped down to line 5, what happened to that $1,402.04 on line 4? Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Mack says it was eliminated. Yes, it was canceled. That is interest you never have to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that keeps us in debt forever is the amount of interest that we're paying each month on the amount of money that the loan that we have, the money that we have borrowed. The interest on the loan keeps you in debt forever. You've just given the bank $1,500, and out of the $1,500, only $143 goes to principal. What kind of mess is that? And we wonder why it takes so long. But guess what? There has been no education on this subject anywhere that we have been privy to. You didn't get it in grade school. You didn't get it in junior high. You didn't get it in high school. You didn't get it in college. Even if you're a CPA, MBA in business, even if you have a graduate degree in finance anywhere, you did not get how an amortization schedule works for the loans that we have today. Not for your credit card, not for your car loan, not for your mortgage, not for your student loans. You have not received the education you need to understand this thing. And we pay it back. We pay it back, pay back this money in the most inefficient way possible. What do I mean by inefficient? This is what I mean by inefficient. If your payment, if your payment is $1,545.18, and $1,402 of that goes to interest, let me show you something. I'm going to put a calculator on the screen. Here's how much interest the bank wanted for line 4. $1,402.04. That's how much interest they wanted. Okay? That's how much interest they wanted. And my total payment, my mortgage payment is $1,545.18. So I'll take that and divide it by 1,545.18, which is my actual payment. And this is what I get. And this is what I get. 90.907, which means 91% of my mortgage payment is interest. 91% of my mortgage payment is interest. So out of every payment dollar, out of every dollar I give them of $1,500, out of every dollar, the bank gets 91 cents out of every dollar. So, Don, are you saying that out of my mortgage payment, out of every dollar, if the bank gets 90% of it, 91%, out of every dollar, they get 91 cents out of every dollar? You mean I'm paying off my mortgage with only 9 cents out of every dollar, 9 pennies out of every dollar that goes to this mortgage is actually paying for your home. 91 cents goes to the mortgage company or bank. How criminal is that when we weren't taught that 91%, 91 pennies out of my dollar went to the mortgage company and only 9 cents is paying off my mortgage every month? Folks, do you want to know what to do about that? Do you want to know how you can switch that thing around? Because with education, you can turn this whole thing around. Listen, I put a number 8 in the chat if you want to see how we can turn it around. 8. Put an 8 in the chat right now. I'm going to show you how you can turn this thing around so that you can flip the script on the bank. Flip the script on the bank. If you have a 40-year mortgage, 91 pennies of your dollar is going to interest and only 9 cents. Here come the number 8s. Here come the number 8s right now. Okay? Because this is crazy. Absolutely nuts. So let me show you something. So if we can do this, we can take because of how this thing is constructed, we get charged every single month on this loan. Every single month we get charged interest on this loan. That's the way they've set it up. But guess what? How much interest we pay is based on the principal balance the month before. All right. Anika says, yeah, number 8. She's on watching us on YouTube. Steve Mack and Gospel Gwen says 8. They're on Clubhouse. All right. So here's what we're doing. So now I pay $143. All right. And the bank wants $1,402. So what they do is they take the principal balance to let me know how much interest I need to pay. So they want me to pay out of my payment $1,402. Where did they get that number from? Let me show you where they get it from. They got it from the month before. All right. I paid my mortgage payment on line 3. So now I owe $280,408.10. So now my interest rate is 6%. 6%. All right. So now let me show you. Let me bring my calculator up. We take the 6%. Okay. We take the 6%. Let's clear this out. 6%, and we divide it. Take 6%. That's 0.06, and we divide it by 12. Divide it by 12. This is what the bank does now. We get 0.005. 0.005. They take that number and multiply it by the balance on line 3, which is $280,408.10. So they take that. We go. Let's see. We're going to multiply that by 280,408. All right, and 10 cents equals 1,402.04. Look at there, 1,402.04. So they set up a system, ladies and gentlemen, that they take 1/12 of the interest rate and multiply it by the unpaid balance, not 360 times, but 480 times. That's a 40-year mortgage from 360 to 40, from 360 to 480. So they want to do this. They want to hit us with 1/12 of the interest rate 480 times. So it's not one mortgage they just put us in, ladies and gentlemen. It's 480 separate mortgages because it's a new one every single month. They take 1/12 of the interest rate and multiply it, and they want us to pay the 1402.04. Now, here's what they don't want you to know. If you just look at this a little bit differently and say, listen, if they want to charge me interest every single month, All I have to do based on this is make sure they charge me fewer months. Yeah. They want to charge me 480 months. But I need to put them in a position where I'm in control of the timing. They say, pay me once a month on time. And I want you to pay me this. But I'm saying, if you take control of the payment, you control the cost. Watch this. So we made 3 payments already. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. And we look at payment number 4, $143.14. Okay. That's what I owe next month. I give them this early, which means I'm paid down to here early. I'm paid down to where I owe $280,264 because I subtracted the $143.14 immediately because I gave that to them in the 3rd month of this mortgage, right? $143.14, which means I get paid down to here prematurely. I took control. I took control of the timing that I gave them the money. So when I take control, I give them that. Now I owe this. So now, instead of taking my 0.006, all right, instead of taking my 0.006 and multiplying it by the 280,408.10, they now have to do this number, 280,264.96. So let's do that. All right. So we take our 0.005, which is 1/12 of the 6% interest rate. Okay. They wanted to multiply it by line 3, but now they have to multiply it by line 4 because I gave them that money early. All right. So now I'm going to multiply it by line 4, which is the 280,264.96 equals 1401.32, which means that is the interest rate on line 5. That's the interest cost on line 5. By giving the bank the $142.43 early, they have to charge me differently, eliminate a whole line from my amortization schedule, a whole line from my amortization schedule. And now because of that, they have to charge me what's on line 5 because I gave them the $143 that's on line 4 early. What do you all think of that? Do you guys like that? Do you like? We have some new people in here. All right. If you have a red ticket, you're not a member. You're not a member of listen, we got the kingdom couple here, the kingdom queen. All right. Listen, I would love it if you all could come to the stage. All right. So raise your hand, come to the stage and ask your question or make your comment. I love having people do that. But if you have a red ticket, you are not a member of the room. So cash it in, go to the top of the page, the P.I.L.L method, click on it and get on the waiting list so you can come into the room. Raise your hand on Clubhouse and come up to the stage. If you have a question, you can, if you can't talk, put it in the chat. If you're online, all right, you can't talk to us. You can put it in the comment section. Put your question or comment in the section. So we just used $143. Where did we get that? Maybe it was in your savings account. Okay. Making 1/10 of 1%. You use that money to make sure that my payment the next month is on line 5. So I just eliminated one line. What if I'm just kind of imagining here. I'm just kind of imagining here. What if I made my payment on line 3? All right. And then I had a few more bucks in the bank and I gave them early $143.14. I added to it the principal payment for line 5, $143.86. And then I added $144 Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. That's 300. That's 400, a little over $400. A little over $400. I gave them a little over $400. Look what happens when I do that. I gave them line, okay. I gave them line 4, 5, and 6, just the principal payments. Guess what happens to these 3 interest payments of 1402, another 1402, and another 1401.32. All of those are gone now. They've just been eliminated. They've just been canceled. I gave the bank a little over $400, and I got rid of 30, wow, of 28, 30, my goodness, $3,200. $3,200 in interest I never have to pay. I eliminated 3 payments from my schedule. I took a 480-month schedule and I reduced it by 3 months just by giving them a little over $400. Are you excited about this? Are you as excited about this as I am? Let me shift this a little bit more. If you want to see what we're talking about, go to YouTube right now. Go to YouTube right now so you can see what we're talking about. Go to YouTube on a secondary device. All right. And you can see, if you're here on Clubhouse, you can see what we're doing. Oh, all right. Kingdom Queen. She loves this information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. All right. Let me show you on cumulative principle. I'm going to give you some time so that you can get to our program here so you can see what's happening. I need you to see what's happening. Okay. When you see what's happening, then you'll be able to see these numbers. I want to show you cumulative principal and cumulative interest for 1 year. Cumulative principal and cumulative interest for 1 year. Because the principal payments are small, I want you to think about them differently. I want you to think about them as a plus and not a negative, as a plus, not a minus, as a positive, not a negative. These small principal payments are working for you because when you add all the principal payments up for 1 year, all right, that's all these principal payments. Look, it comes to $1,739.49. But when you add up all the interest payments for 1 year, it comes to $16,802.67. So that's a lot of money in 1 year going to interest. And this is how much out of that money. So let's add that up. I've got $16,802.67 plus my $1,700 going to principal. 1739.49 equals $18,542.16. Out of $18,500, I get for my equity only $1,739.49. The bank got the rest. Out of $18,000 I paid, $18,542.16. If this was my mortgage and I paid it every month on time, I pay out $18,000 in 1 year. All I get out of the deal is $1,739.49. How fair is that, ladies and gentlemen? How fair is that? How fair is that? Looking straight into the camera at you. How fair is that? Well, you know, it ain't fair. Only because we didn't know how to read it. But because you're here in the P.I.L.L. method, we're going to learn how to read this thing. So I have a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. if you already know that you're going to be paying this $1,739.49 because it's added up all the principal payments, here's my question. Do you have to pay the $1,700 in 12 monthly installments? That's my question to you. Do I have to pay the $1,739.49 in 12 monthly installments? Do I have to pay that? Put a yes or no. Put a Y. A king. Oh, kingdom queen. You just said no. She was so quick on the draw. Steve Mack says no. You don't have to wait. You don't have to pay it in 12 monthly installments. So listen, if you have it in the bank, I'm just saying if you have that money in the bank, could you pay the $1,700 all at once? Could you pay the $1,700 all at once if you had it? And instead of over 12 monthly installments, let me show you what happens when you do. Okay. Remember, we started out owing 200. We started out here, 280,833.26. That's how much we started out. All right. And we're going to give the bank $1,739.49 all at once. All those principal payments all at once. So if we do, they have to subtract that. They have to subtract the $1,700 if we give it to them. So we're going to subtract $1,739.49 because that's what we gave them, equals $279,093.77. Folks, that's exactly that number here on line 12. Do you mean to tell me that if we gave the bank the money that they were expecting in 12 months, if we gave it to them in 1 month, we'll be paid down to here in 1 month? Oh my goodness. Howard and Simone are here watching us on on YouTube. They've got something here. It says, good morning. Is there a way to get a copy of the amortization schedule so that we can see this on paper? Howard, you can make one up on your own. Okay. So let me put this in there so that you can use the same thing I'm using. This is a tool. Okay. This is a tool that I use from the internet. This is not my program. This is just a teaching tool. What we do in our program is many more times more powerful than this. Many more times more powerful. Our opportunity cost calculator can cut your interest cost by 75 to 80% on your loan, so that by following our program, you can pay off your loan with your current budget in about 7 years, cutting your interest cost by 75 to 80%, eliminating that interest. Okay. I'm just giving you the basics here. This is not my program at all. This is just helping you to understand what the bank is doing to you and how easy it is to undo it. Okay. So here, I'm going to put this. You want to go to Brett Whistle, BRETTWHISSEL.net. Okay. That's the tool I'm using. I just put it in the chat for you. All right. I just put it over here and I'm going to put it in the chat. That was in the comment section. I'm going to go over here to YouTube, onto Clubhouse, and I'm going to put that in also as soon as I can get my thing to act right. Brett Whistle, BRETTWHISSEL.net. Okay, let's fix that and send that out. All right, BrettWhistle.net. So you can go there and play around with it. All right, so you can make up your own amortization schedule. If you get one from your bank, if you get an amortization schedule from your bank, as soon as you make a prepayment, that amortization schedule is destroyed. Then you have to request another one and wait another 4 or 5 weeks to get it. Howard and Simone says, thank you. And you are so welcome, Howard and Simone. All right. You can now, what if you want to do more than this? What if you want to do something that can benefit you directly? All right. Now, you can guess. Now, I'm just throwing out some numbers here. All right. And you can guess as to what to pay. You can kind of get Brett Whistle here and save some money. All right. So here's my next question. Here's my next question to you. Do you want to save some money and pay off sooner? Or do you want to pay, or do you want to save the maximum amount of money you can for you and pay off your debt the soonest possible? How would you like to be able to be guaranteed that you can save the maximum amount of interest that's mathematically possible for you, no guesswork involved, following a computer program that's going to guide you like GPS as to what to do? All right. Rodney says, Rodney has a question here, ladies and gentlemen. He's watching us on YouTube. He says, could you pay what you were paying before as if you didn't change your monthly payment? Rodney, you could do that. You could do that. And it would automatically put money on principal every single time. But here's my question to you, Rodney. If you did that, each time you made your new, you kept the old payment. All right. So he's asking, the old payment is, the old payment was $16.25. All right. He says things got better. I got the modification. I've got a new payment. Of, of $14.04. So he says, if I have a new payment of $14.04 and things got better for me financially, could I make the $16.25 each month? The answer to that is yes, you could. But here's my question to you, Rodney. If you did that, how much interest would you save to the penny? Would you know? You see, folks, we can do a lot of things in this. We can give any amount that we want towards principal. The key is knowing exactly how much to give and when to give it so that you can calculate how much interest you just saved. So you need to be able to measure. You can't optimize what you can't measure. You can't optimize what you can't measure. So how many would like to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you could save? And have somebody else do the work for you. You can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save. Let me show you how you can get that. Let's go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and get what's called a savings and earnings report. A savings and earnings report. Once you get the savings and earnings report, ladies and gentlemen, you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free. So go to ice10k.com, click on that link, and then you'll see a button that says get a savings and earnings report. Put in your information, your name, your email, and your cell phone number. Once you put in your cell phone number, I need you to listen closely. Make sure you don't put any spaces in there. We supply you with the +1. So when you put in your cell phone number, make sure you're putting in your cell phone number with no dots or dashes. Put it right next to that number 1, right? No spaces. Right next to that number 1, put your cell phone number in and then click confirm. Once you click confirm one time, wait for it. Wait for a text message to come to you that will give you your code so that you can put it back into the website. All right. Put it back into the website and then confirm it again. Once you do that, the program will let you know you are a real person. You've got an actual cell phone number. Great. All right. And then you click on yes, I want to save. That will take you to our financial form. Once you fill out your financial form, then you click submit. Don't click just save. Make sure you click submit on that financial form so that we can get it. Once we get it, someone from my team will give you a call within 48 hours and let you know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you could save. And then if you want more information on how you can get there by using our opportunity cost calculator, using our cloud-based AI computing system, and have our top-notch coaching program as well built in, we'll go over that with you. And our consultation is only $150. $150. Well, Don, what if I decide that after sitting down with you, it wasn't worth $150 to sit down with you? Just let me know. I'll give it back. If you don't feel you got value out of the meeting, just let me know. I'll give the $150 back. Okay? It is that simple. It's that simple. So you want to know how all of this works? You want to get some information that is specific to you? Fill out the information. Get your savings and earnings report today. Get it today. Put that information in there. Stop giving that money to the bank. Even if you have a 30-year mortgage, even if you don't have a 40-year mortgage, you may have a 30-year mortgage. No matter how much debt you have, you got mortgages, you got student loans, you got credit cards, you can have it all paid off in about 7 years. A mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, your auto loans, all of it can be done in about 7 years using your current budget, and you don't have to sacrifice lifestyle. Okay. So yes, what does that mean? So Don, does that mean I have to eat beans and rice every day? Does that mean we can't go on vacation anymore? Does that mean I have to drive a 30-year-old car? Does it mean that I have to, I have to cut up my credit cards? Does that mean any of that? No, it doesn't. You can live an enhanced lifestyle. You can live well and get out of debt, because we're not telling you to cut back on your lifestyle. We're just telling you to cut back on the amount of interest that you pay. Stop it paying all of that interest. When you cut your interest cost, more of your money goes to your loan out of the money you already have. No, you don't have to sell pizzas at night to get this thing done. You don't need more money, ladies and gentlemen. You need to pay less interest. And our opportunity cost calculator does all of the work. All right. So we're gonna get that for you. Before it's all over, I'm gonna put that on the screen, our opportunity cost calculator, so that you can see what's going on with that. All right. So let's get back. Do I have any? Let me see if I have any more questions. So Estella says, you are reading my mind. Estella, what am I reading your mind about? Estella, what am I reading your mind about? Go ahead and put that in there. She said, in capital letters, are you reading my mind? Come on, Estella, what am I reading your mind about? What did I say? What did I say? All right. She says, I need your help. Listen, we can do that. We can do that. So make sure you put in ice10k.com. I got some. Listen, folks, if you try to hit me up on the back channel, I don't always see that. All right. Estella, I just looked here on the back channel. I have your number. We're going to be giving you a call to make sure we can help you. Okay. All right. And let me see here. So Estella put a message in there. We're going to check you out and see how we can help you there. All right. All right. So here's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We need you. We need you right now. All right. To look at these numbers. If you are on Clubhouse right now and you want to see the numbers, let's go back to the amortization schedule. Okay, folks, we've been here a little over an hour, 1 hour and 6 minutes, 1 hour, 6 minutes. We've been here. All right. Talking to you about this thing. Okay. I want to go back to the amortization schedule. And so we can do more about understanding what's going on with these loans. I want to show you the kind of benefits you're getting here when you take your money and invest it in yourselves instead of giving it to the bank. If you are a real estate investor, you don't want to miss Friday's show. Friday's show is how real estate investors are losing out on millions by not understanding this concept. They're losing out on millions. You want to be there on Friday. You want to be here on Friday because we're going live Friday at 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We're live Friday. If you're a real estate investor, if you know real estate investors, you want to share this content with them so that they can see how, if they're a buy and hold, meaning they have long-term investment plans, they're renting out their properties, whether short-term, mid-term, or long-term, however they're renting out their properties, we can show you how you can cut your interest cost on these loans and get your equity several times faster, 5 to 7 times faster, and you can cash out on your properties 10 to 15 years sooner. Take the money that you didn't pay in interest and then invest that money and turn it into several $1 million. Stop giving all your money to the bank. Let me show you what's happening for the individual here. All right. You know, when we invest our money, we want to get a pretty good return. All right. I say, Kurt says, yeah, when I invest my money, I want to get a good return. Says, yeah, I want to get a good return. I see him shaking his head. You can't see it, but I can see it. Okay. You listen, you want to get a good return on your money. Okay. What's a good return on your money for you, ladies and gentlemen? Put it in the chat. If you could make an interest rate on your money, how much would you want to make when you invest it? You put it in the bank, or you invest it in the stock market, or you've got an annuity. How much do you want to make on your money? Put it in the chat. What's a good interest rate? What is a good interest rate you want to make on your money? I want to show you something. Let me see. I want to see some comments here. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comment section. If you're watching us online, all right, put it in there. How much is a good interest rate to you? How much do you want to make on your money? All right. Come on, folks. Come on. Put something in there. Put something in the chat. All right. 10%, 15%, 20. What would 7%? What do you want to be able to make on your money? What would be good? And I'll show you how I can make it even better. All right. Howard Simone says, double it. All right. Double it. All right. So give me an interest rate. Give me an interest rate, Howard and Simone. Give me an interest rate. How much do you want to make? You said, when you say double it, you mean you want to double your investment? That would be 100% return on your money. Is that what you're saying? You want to make 100% return on your money? Howard and Simone? Do you think, folks, what if I could tell you, Howard and Simone says they want to double their money. Can I show you how you can get better than 100% return on your money? If you want to see how you can get better, Howard and Simone says, listen, I could be good with 100%. If you want to see how you can make more than 100% on your money, put a number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the chat right now if you want to see how you can make better than 100% on your money. Steve Mack says 9. I see it. I see it. Steve Mack says 9. Nabal says 9. I want to see how you can make better than 100% on your money. And listen, I'm going to guarantee it. I will guarantee this return on your money. All right, listen, we got more people coming in online. If you want to see this, if you're new to the room, go to YouTube, search for P.I.L.L Method, and get on the live. Okay, get on a second. Get on your other computer or your other phone or your laptop or or your tablet, go to YouTube, search for P.I.L.L method, and get on the live. You want to see this. All right. So now let me show you the simple math that's involved in prepaying. This is what we don't see. If the bank is charging you all of this money, then when you don't have to pay it, Benjamin Franklin said, a penny saved is a penny earned. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? A penny saved is a penny earned. Watch this. So I'm going down to line 4 again on this. All right. We have on our 40-year mortgage, I'm going to prepay $143.14. By doing that, I eliminate $1,402.04 in interest I don't have to pay. So let me break it down to you this way. Every month you make a payment on your mortgage, you're buying a little piece of your equity back. When the bank gets your mortgage, they just bought your equity. They own it. And you're buying it back. And in this case, at $140 some a month, you're buying it back at $140 some a month, but it's costing you over $1,400 a month to do it, which is a lot of money. Okay. So we just found out that when we do it their way, 91 cents out of every dollar we give them goes to them, and only 9 cents out of every dollar pays down our mortgage. But if I prepay the $143.14 and I don't have to pay them $1,400.02 to get it, I just got my $43.14 for free. What? Yeah, that equity that I was paying $1,400 for. If I give them the $143 early, I get the equity for free now because I don't have to pay them anything for it. By disrupting the bank's timing, you make it impossible for them to charge you that interest. Impossible, because you gave it to them early. If you wait to the first of every month, you will give them that interest payment they're looking for that amount of equity. For the $143.14, you wait till the first of the month, you have to pay $1,402.04 to get it. If you give it to them early, you don't have to give them anything. Not even a dime of interest. You can wait till the first of the month and pay them $1,400. Or you can give it to them early and pay them $0. This is so good. I love that. Oh my goodness. I can do that early and not give them all of that money. Okay? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? You want to know some more? You want to hear some more? So I'm going to put my calculator back on the screen. My calculator comes back. Watch these numbers. Watch the numbers. $143.14 paid early. I eliminate $1,402.04 in interest I don't have to pay now. So if I put my $1,400 and 1402.04, okay, and I divide it by 143.14, and I move my decimal places 2 places to the right, 1, 2, that means I have a 979% return on my money. For $142.14 invested in my mortgage, giving it to my mortgage prepay, I save over $1,400 in interest. That is 979% return on my money. Where else? Where else? Where else are you going to get that? Where else are you going to get that kind of return on your money? Over a 900% return on your money. If you listen, there's nowhere else you're going to put $143 anywhere and get that kind of return. Can you think of a place? Put it there. Don't pay $1,400 for it, and then do the calculation. The reason why I'm going through all of this, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I'm going through all of this, is because for too many years in this banking system, someone has known the rules, and they took advantage of all of us because we didn't know the rules. And because I'm giving them $1,400, I'm conditioned to do it. It doesn't even hurt anymore. It doesn't even hurt anymore that in the first year on this mortgage, I pay them $16,000 in interest. In the first 2 years on this mortgage, I pay them $33,498 in interest just to get my mortgage paid down by $3,500. In the first 3 years, I pay them $50,000 in interest just to pay my mortgage down by $55,4693. In the first 5 years, 60 months, I don't even pay my mortgage down by $10,000. Less than $10,000 has gone to pay down the mortgage. Guess how much money the bank has just received from me that they want to take from me, take from my family. They want to take from my family $82,872.26 in just the first 5 years. Just so that I can pay my mortgage down by $9,838.54. They took advantage of the fact. They took advantage of the fact that I didn't want to lose my home, the home where I raised my children. I didn't want to lose my home because it's embarrassing to lose my home. I didn't even tell my relatives I was in trouble. Didn't even tell them. And so I reached out to my bank, and my bank says, we got you. We got you. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you this modification. You can keep your home. Your payment will be lower, and you can keep your home. But in the first 5 years, here's what they don't tell you. In the first 5 years on this mortgage, you're going to pay us $82,872 in interest, just so that you can pay this loan down by $9,800. That's crazy. Here's what I'm saying. Let's cut this down by 75 to 80%. Let's cut down the amount of interest that they're getting. Okay? Let's cut it down. All right? And let me see here. Vicky this guy wants to come up to the stage. I'm checking out your bio. Okay? And let's see here. You're not connected to any. Okay, let me check out your social media here. All right? Let me see here. All right. Looks like we can bring you up. All right? But I don't know you, but if you're a disruptor, I'm going to get you off the stage right away. Okay? So let's bring him up. All right? All right. Okay. Where did he go? I guess he decided not to come up. All right. There you go. That's okay with me, because I was going if you're going to disrupt my stage because I don't know you, I'm going to get you right off. So anybody else wants to raise their hand, ask a question, I will bring you up so that you can ask your question. All right. So here, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm showing you right now the numbers. Here's I'm going to do. I'm writing another book, and one of the things that we're researching is how much interest the bankers make on mortgages a year in the U.S. The numbers are staggering. Staggering. How much money they make on interest payments only because we have not been educated. This is the only program on the internet that is dedicated to making sure you know how these loans actually work and how you can take advantage of the rules instead of the rules taking advantage of you. The only one. Let me get a drink of water here. The only one. We are dedicated so that you can know the truth. And the truth is what makes you free, ladies and gentlemen. The truth about how this lending works. So what we have here, instead of in 5 years, giving the $82,000, here's how much interest they want for the whole thing. You borrow $280,000. Here's how much interest they want. $460,000. So it's supposed to be 6%? Not really. Total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 164.102. They want 164%. They get to call it 6%, but by the time they're done with it, by charging us 1/12 of the interest rate 480 times, it balloons to 164%. You're going to pay back way more in interest, 164% more in interest than you borrowed if you let them have their way. So what if you could take that 460,000, all right? 460,000. I'm doing a little bit of math here, all right? And cut it down to 150,000 or 125,000. They want 460,000. What if you could do it so that you could pay only 125,000? The 460,000 is borrowing the money at retail. Okay? Borrowing the money at retail. So if you have 460,000, all right, and let's just round it out to you can pay 150,000. Okay, if they want 460, you can pay 150. Okay, that's $300,000. You don't have to pay them to acquire the same property. $310,000. What if you could track that $310,000 and invest that? Okay, let's say you can take that money. You can be done in 7 years. Okay, take the money that you would have paid, $310,000, and invest that money for the time that you were supposed to be on the mortgage. Supposed to be in it 7 years, so 40 years. You got out in 7. Okay, that's 33 years. So if let me see if I can pull this up. This is some amazing stuff. This is some amazing stuff. You want to see this? All right. I'm going to pull up. Let me see here. I'll see if I can pull something up. Return on investment. All right. So let me see if I can find a calculator. How to calculate ROI. I'm trying to find a calculator that does that. Calculate ROI. All right. Let me see here. How is ROI calculated? All right. Okay. Return on investment calculator. Bank rate. Let me see if I can. Okay. So let me see if I can pull this over. Okay. So I got $310,000. All right. So we're going to see about taking the interest that I would have paid. All right. Take that interest I would have paid. All right. Around Um, let's see here. We're going to use, what number are we going to use? We're going to use $1,500 because we're not paying that anymore. Okay. So I'm going to, for the next, so I'm going to be done in 7 years. So that's 33 years. I'm going to put in 33 years. And let's just say, I'm okay with, I'm just going to put in 1% return. 1% return on my money, all right, over 33 years, all right. Initial investment, 0. But I'm going to put in the money that I'm not going to, so additional investment is $1,500 a month, okay? Look at this, $2,888,000. Okay, that's at 1% return. What if it's the average 7% return? Look at this, 7% return, $6 million. Ladies and gentlemen, stop giving your money to the bank because they're taking your money and investing it. Who would be better investing your $300,000 that you didn't have to give them in interest? You could invest that money yourself and make a ton of money over 33, over $6 million. That's at 7%. What if we can average 10? Average 10. $9 million. Look at that. $9 million. Do you know that if you're in real estate, if you want to take that and put it into real estate, now I heard somebody the other day talk about cash on cash return of about 16%. They're not making 16%. They feel they're not making money. Okay. Let's put it in 16% because you're putting it in real estate. $21,384,000. Look at that. All right. So listen, so Howard and Simone, they've got something else they want to share with us. It says, I have a student loan that doesn't require a payment right now and is not gaining interest. Would you recommend using that money to pay off or pay down other loans or keep paying the student loan? Well, right now, and Howard, I can see why you're saying that, because if the student loan is the only debt you have, all the money that you're paying towards a student loan right now is going to principal. None of it is going to interest. So what you have to do is to know the answer to that is how much interest am I saving by doing this, or how much interest would I save if I put that money elsewhere? The answer to the question is in the math, Howard and Simone. The answer to the question is in the math. If I do this with my money, what is going to be my benefit? If I do the other thing with my money, what is going to be my benefit? And the answer is in the math, and it's for the individual. These are the kinds of questions we answer at the P.I.L.L method for our clients, because we don't guess at it. We don't give everybody the same information. We do the math, and then the math tells you which way to go. So we would take a look at all your other loans, Howard, how much money you are talking about, how much money we could put towards principal, and then see if we would be better off paying off the student loans or paying on the other debt. And when you see the numbers, how it benefits you, then you'll know what to do. See, it's time out for these so-called financial gurus who come on and give you all sorts of advice, but they never show you the math. They never show you the numbers. It sounds good. And one of the reasons why it sounds good is because you've heard it somewhere else before. All of the information that you're seeking out on the internet, Okay. Somebody said this, they said this, they said this, they said, and they're practically all saying the same thing. When you sit around, you're at the water cooler at work, they're saying, they're regurgitating the same information. When you ask your financial advisor, they're regurgitating the same information. So you're getting the same info over and over again. And because you hear it all the time, you assume it's correct. But none of them showed you the numbers to prove that it was correct. You just heard it so many times from so many people, from even experts, that we acquiesce and say, it must be true. Everybody's talking about it. But here I'm showing you the numbers. I'm showing you the numbers on what you could do with the money that the bank is doing. Make $21 million with it instead of giving it to the bank. Okay? Because by the time you pay that mortgage off, if you get it paid off, you've given them a whole lot of money in interest. Okay? So you basically paid for the house 2.5 times. You bought one house for you, and you bought a house and a half for the bank. Is that why you're working so hard? Or do you want to put that money and start developing your own bank and your own financial system for your family? Or are you just wanting to keep giving it to the banks to make them rich? So I'm looking to see if I can get any more questions here answered. Howard, I hope that answers your question. I wish I could tell you right now, but I don't know enough about your situation to actually answer it. It's math that matters. What I'm talking about here is not magic. It's just math. So if you want to know, here's what you could do. You guys can go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and get a savings and earnings report. And then know this, that coaching goes along with it. I'm listening to Clubhouse earlier today. Do you know there are people that charge $10,000 a month to be coached in business? $10,000 a month to be coached in business, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month. The outrageous prices. I mean, it's worth it, because if they're paying that for coaching, they're obviously going to make more money than they're spending on the coaching. We don't have a monthly fee. We just have one fee. You pay it one time, and it's good for life. And coaching, financial coaching, is included. You get this type of financial coaching built into our program. Built in. You pay for it one time. But Don, what happens when I pay off this house? Well, you can use it again for the second house. Pay that off in 7 years. Then again for another house. Pay that off in 7 years. Now you got enough money. You got those house renters out. Now you can buy 2 or 3 or 4 at one time. Put those all into the program, the same program. Put it all in. We have people that are doing just that. Collecting rental houses because they're paying them off early and buying more, putting them into this program because we're saving them so much interest. They're taking that interest money that they would have paid and investing it into their net worth. Over $1 million worth of property right now because they own it free and clear. And now they can rent it. And they can cash out on that property to buy more properties. Cash out to buy more. Cash out to buy more. It is amazing what this thing could do for you, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get your savings and earnings report. So if you're new to the room, go to ice10k.com. You got my link at the top of the page, ice10k.com, and get a savings and earnings report. Remember, when you put your cell phone number in, make sure there's no spaces. We'll give you a call and confirm the information that you sent to us, and then set up a meeting with one of us so that we can go over your information with you and show you the month, day, and year you could be debt free, and give you additional information on our opportunity cost calculator and our coaching that's going to help you get out of debt and make a lot of money instead of giving the bank a lot of money. All right. Howard and Simone says, yes, it helps. Thank you. It says, okay, great, great, great. All right. Let me take a look and see if I have anything in the chat here. Well, folks, let's see. Do you know that some people get so inspired about what we do? They want to actually help us. They want to help us. They want to help us get the word out. Well, I would appreciate it if you would share this with other people. But guess what? You don't have to do it for free. You can actually get paid. How would you like to become an affiliate? It takes 15 seconds to fill out the affiliate card, and you can do it for free. And you can now share this information with others. All you need to do is make sure that the leads that you send us, the referrals that you send us, they owe at least $100,000 in debt. They have at least $100,000 in debt. If you send that to, so listen, we just paid somebody the other day. They sent us someone. They had $100,000 in debt, over $100,000 in debt. They signed up as one of our clients, and we paid them $300. $300 for sending us a name that we followed up on. We do all the work. If they send us a second one in the same month, we're going to send them $400 for the second one. They send us a third one, we're going to give them $500 for the third one. They send us a fourth one in the same month, and they become a client. We're going to give them $600 for that one. If they send us a fifth one, the fifth one is worth $1,200 in 1 month. That's a total, if you add it all up, $3,000 for sharing this with your. Says, well, Don, I don't know what you know. How can I teach? You don't have to. Point them to listen, you have 235 helpers online right now, 235 shows online on YouTube. You can send your friend or family member or acquaintance to watch some of these videos for the next 2 days. Call them back after 48 hours, no more than 48 hours, no more than 48 hours. 48 hours is the limit. Call them back in 48 hours or less and ask them if they want to know more. If they do, then use the same ICE 10K card and then fill out refer a friend. Fill out refer a friend. When you fill out refer a friend, then we get that information. You put your name as the referral partner on that same on that same application. You send it in, and then we know that belongs to you. And when that person becomes a client, we send you out your payment in the way that you've designated. All right. So that's what's happening as a referral. All right. So we've talked about getting your savings and earnings report. We talked about refer a friend, signing up as an affiliate. Let's talk about the book. Let's talk about the book right now. So go to ice10k.com and get the book today. Get it today. All right. Once you get the book, you can start getting some background information on what it is that we do. And we'll be glad to share it with you. All right. And then we'll put that up as well, so you can see what the book looks like. Let me see here. I'm going to put up something else on my other screen and put a new window up. And then we're going to, let's see here. Go here. And I'm going to, in the last few seconds, I'm going to show you what it means, what our opportunity cost calculator looks like. All right. So we have the best financial education on the planet. we also have the most powerful financial, artificially intelligent computing platform on the planet right now as well. It's cloud-based. All right. So there it is. We're going to bring up the demo so you guys can see that. All right. Here is a demo of our program. This is the program that does all of the math here. All right. So we're going to reset it, and then I'll give you an idea of what it looks like. All right. This is the program that does all of the math. And I'm putting on one of our things called, belongs to one of our very first clients. All right. John and Rebecca Jones. All right. And I'm going to show you how John and Rebecca Jones use the information that you're finding in this book, that they found out that their traditional way of doing finances was costing them way too much money, keeping them in debt way too long, because no one was teaching them the truth about how lending actually worked. Why isn't no one else talking about this on the internet? Why isn't anybody else on YouTube talking about this? We got people talking about all the other things, but they're not talking about interest cancellation. Why? Because I own the copyright. It's in the book. I own the copyright. So it's here. Now, will other smart people see how well this is working and then go to work, take the information that we have and develop their own program? Eventually they will. Eventually they will. Every home will have some sort of opportunity cost calculator. Let's put it on the screen. Every home will have one. I mean, it's going to be as common as countertops or microwave ovens. Okay? Having an oven in your home. That's how common this is going to become. Everybody will have one, because people are going to be able to see that I can get a bigger bang for my buck if I just manage the funds that I have. I can do more. I can save more. I can invest more. I can build more wealth. I can take my debt and build wealth with this thing if I know what to do. Coaching, education, and technology. Did you realize the computer that you're on right now, whether it's a handheld computer or a laptop or a desktop, did you know just a few years ago, computers were as big as houses? And somebody had the vision that says every home will have one. Every home will have a computer. Every home, practically every home now has a computer of some sort, whether it's in your handheld device or it's in one of your appliances. Computers are a very important part of what we do now. If you drive a car, you have over 300 different computers in your car right now. Over 300. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah. So your handheld device, whether it's an iPhone, whether it's iPhone or Android, way more powerful than the computers that took people to the moon and back. So if you want to know the best way to get out of debt, the cheapest way to get out of debt, and the best way to put that money to use for you, work with us. Here is John and Rebecca Jones. Let me show you their accounts. Let me show how powerful this is. John and Rebecca Jones have debt of $227,000. They got a $25,000 auto loan. They have a Visa that's $2,000. They got a mortgage that's $200,000 at 6%. A total of $227,000. Our program has already figured out before they made the first payment how they can save $179,543 in interest by following the program like GPS. The program says move this much money in this month on this day of the month, attack this particular loan. Here's how much interest you save. We figure out the interest savings. By doing this, they're going to be done in 7.7 years. And because they're supposed to be out of debt, all right, in 7.7 years, we'll actually take them to where in 28, about, excuse me, about 22 years, all right? So we're going to net worth, and they're supposed to be out of debt, all right? They're supposed to be out of debt in 30 years, all right? It's 2023, all right? So 30 years from now would be 53. So if they go here, they can take a look at where they would be if they followed our program: net worth, wealth accumulation. By 2053, when everybody else is trying to be out of just getting out of debt, they will have over $853,000 in one of their investments by following our program, and that's at a 1% return. When everybody else is just paying off their house, maybe in 30 years, they're going to have $853,000, and that's just at 1% return. What if we could get them 7%? What if they can get 7%? What if they can get 9%? But at 1%, instead of just paying off the house and having just the house, they're going to have their house paid for and an additional $853,000 because they did not give it to the bank. Folks, that's what we're talking about. Take your debt and turn it into wealth. Take your debt and turn it into wealth. I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you back here on Friday when we're going to be talking to real estate investors, how real estate investors are leaving millions of dollars on the table. We're going to be talking about that right now because I had a conversation with a real estate investor and they tried to tell me, Don, why should I pay off these cheap loans? Why should I pay off the cheap loans? Why don't I just take the money and invest it instead? So this is what real estate investors are talking about. Why pay off the loans, take the money and invest it in more doors, invest it in real estate. Don't pay off these cheap loans. Well, number one, they're not cheap. Okay, because the question came over to me is should I pay off that loan at 6.5%, or should I be making 16% on my money long term? Well, no. Well, yeah, but you're not paying. It's not a 6% mortgage. It's not 6.5%. Okay, it's over 100%. You're paying the back over 100%, and you want to make 16%. Compounded interest. Well, I'm going to show you how you can do both. How you can invest money long term and save interest on the properties that you have long term, and take that money you save, add it to this money over here, and make even more money. I'm going to show you how to do both on Friday. All right. Do you want to see that? So I said, look at here. It says, if the Joneses wanted to be out of debt sooner than 7 years, would the program calculate that? Well, yes, it would. But the question is, would it be financially to their advantage to be out of debt in less than 7 years, Howard? Can I tell you a little story about one of my clients? Because this is our last story for the day because we got 10 minutes left. And I want you to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas before we go. I have a client right here in Huntsville. Okay. When they started our program, they were so happy to be out of debt in about 10 years. All right. But because they're now making more money, because he's an engineer, he told me not too long ago that he now can pay off the last $260,000 that he owes on his mortgage. He can now pay it off in 3.5 years. He just cut 7 years off of what I told him. Okay, 3.5 years he could be out of debt and only pay, what was it? $16,000 in interest. $16,000. And I said to him, "You're paying off your house too fast, and you're not paying enough interest." He says, "What are you talking about, Dad? I thought the whole idea of your program is to do that." All right. And I said, well, listen, because the program is a powerful calculator, let's tell the program you're making $2,000 a month less. So we took $2,000 a month out of the program and the program recalculated. Okay. Program recalculated. All right. And said, now you're going to be out of debt in not 3.5 years, but now you're going to be out of debt in 6.5 years by taking $2,000 a month out of your income. And you're going to be now you're going to pay $20,000 in interest instead of 16. So it's going to cost him more in interest and take him longer. He says, how is that beneficial? How does that help me? Okay, I got to pay more and it's going to take me longer to get out of debt. I said, because of this. You so want to be out of debt in 3.5 years. He says, yeah, I was really counting on that. And I said, okay, what would you have to do? He says, I would have to put that $2,000 back in to my budget. And I said, for 3 years, that's 36 months. And then 3.5 years, that's 36 months. That's another 6 months. That's 42 months. 42 months times $2,000 a month. How much is that? This is 42 times 2,000. That's $84,000. So what you're telling me, are you okay with putting $84,000 towards debt reduction just so that you can save an additional $4,000 in interest, go from 20,000 down to 16,000? He said, well, now that you put it that way, no, I don't want to do that at all. I says, so why do you want to be out of debt so fast? He says, because I want to build our dream home. I says, well, what are you waiting for? Go and build it now. He said, well, I don't have the down payment that I would need because I've been putting so much towards, getting out of debt on this house. I said, yeah, you do. You have it. He says, how? I said, take a HELOC out on this house. He took a HELOC out. Okay. And from the HELOC, he says he's got $70,000 he put down on his next house. Okay. He needed to have 10% down. Put $70,000 down, built the new house, and now both houses are going to be out of debt. Going to be out of debt in under 10 years because he's put a renter in the old house. In 10 years, going to be done. And now the $700,000 house, guess what? It's worth $900,000 now. Oh, come on. So yes, Howard, you could be out of debt sooner if you had more money. The question is, do you really want to? Or would that money be better? Would it work better for you making money in interest instead of saving money in interest? You see, it's called opportunity cost calculations. And our program will actually do the numbers, but it's our coaching that helps you to understand how to even ask the questions. Because the P.I.L.L method answers questions about finances that people don't even have the questions for yet. We have answers for people who don't even yet have the questions. That's why education is so important. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're going to be back on Friday. Tell all of your friends, get back in here so that you can know more about what we're doing. Because on Friday, we're going to be talking about real estate investing, how they're leaving millions on the table. Thank you very much for being here. I am so excited to be back on our regular schedule. Kirk Nugent is great, is back as our producer. He does a wonderful job. And I want you to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas before we go. He is Dr. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. All right. He is the #1 motivational speaker on the planet right now. Let's hear what he has to say about the P.I.L.L method. And I'm going to say goodbye to you now because he's going to be the last word you hear. Goodbye, everybody. See you on Friday.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you going to keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She like, you sure? Because I'm going to keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't got to do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.